Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mubarak and I welcome you to the 5th video of creating a complete e-commerce web application using plain PHP. So in the previous video we stopped at the level whereby a user can log in and log out, and also started the logic of this sidebar as well as creating what products category. So in this video we're going to resume straight and proceed from where I stopped at in the previous video, whereby we're going to look at how we can create categories in our project. But I would like you to know that when you're going to create categories, I'm going to teach you how we can create components that can be reusable, so that you create them only one time and reuse them again and again. You can even reuse them in the projects, in different projects. So that is what I'm going to do. So it's going to be a slow process and boring, but it will be very, very advantageous even in this very project to accomplish it. So with that said, I now hope that you have that in your mind. Now the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to create a page that we are going to add category into our system. So to do that, we're just going to go ahead and duplicate this very page, and the other one's you're going to call it add category or product add category, and in that page is where we're going to put the logic of doing what, of adding a category. So let's go ahead and come and duplicate this one by just simply coming and say shift save as, file save as, and then I'm going to call this one categories dash add. So admin categories add, so it's the one that we're going to use for what, for adding a new category. Let us just temporarily put it on our sidebar menu so that we should be able to navigate to it. But when you proceed, we'll create for it a button on the categories page so that someone can use that to navigate to it. So we'll come to the administrators section, and we're going to add something new. Where is it? This is administrator section, and we're going to add a category add. So just come and change here the link and make it admin categories add.php, and then the title is going to be create product categories, create or add product category, something like that, create product category. So if we come and refresh, we should be able to see it. It is here, create product category. So when I click there, I should be able to navigate to here. So here is where we're going to put our we're going to put our form for adding a product. So you have to go first now to the template and you see which form we can use for adding a category. I think this one can help. This form is called add product, and it's in the file called dashboard add new product. So we're going to copy this name and look for it in our template. You can as well press Ctrl P, and then paste there. You'll be able to see the specific file that you want. So I'm going to go to my products add categories, to this section where there is a main content here, and there I'm going to copy and paste the logic of adding a product category. So I'll come here, I'll first look at where the header stops. Okay, of course the header is stopping from here. Okay, and then the dashboard starts here. Then I will go ahead and look. This is the top bar, so I can as well copy it if I want it. The title bar, this one on top. So it's already there. This one's already there. We already have it there. And then after we have the sidebar, it is here. So we don't need sidebar also. Then we'll have now the content itself, which is here. So in this content, you can see there is kind of a section and there's all that logic. Let us see how ours look like. Now is the content. The content we expect it to be here. Okay. So this is the section that is the other side. So I can collapse this section and I remove it, and I go to the other side and get where there is content here, and then copy this one and come and paste it here. We're going to remove even those that we don't need for the beginning. So I'll come and refresh here our project, and you can see we've come up with that. Okay, have this one, select category in case we have a parent category. So we've come up with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove this select category and then ignore it, select this one. I'm going to remove it for now, so we can have something that is much more clear and straightforward. So come and refresh, we have that. I don't know why, but okay, we'll see how we fix it. So our concentration should be, maybe you should change this title for the admin, because the admin is having something different slightly from the normal customer. So come and refresh. Yeah, that's what the admin has. Okay, we'll modify that later. So there's add product here. Everything's just disorganized. I don't know why. So refresh. What we have here. What did I do? I just removed everything. Okay, let's stay there. Okay, so I'm going to put here a section for the product title, the category title. Okay, the category title, that's most important. Maybe you can even first leave in these images and the rest. Just first remove everything and just keep with with category title. So I'll come and remove this select. Okay, maybe I can come and let me first remove everything and we concentrate on the name first. So I'll come and collapse this one, collapse this one, collapse this one, and remove them. We can add them. Collapse this guy, remove, and this one, remove. We can add them anytime. So if I come and refresh now, we will see that. Okay, so it's going to be, it's not going to be product title, but it's going to be category name. Okay, so product category name, can call it category name, like that. So after doing that, so now the next thing is now to enter the name. But before we start entering the name, as I told you that I need us to create components that should be reusable in a way that when we want to implement and to create another form, we don't need to do what? To repeat ourselves that much. So here I'm going to create a special form field that I'm going to call a text field. And then we'll be calling that text field, and then it will be a function that will be in one place, and then we'll be able to do what? To reuse it to avoid us repeating ourselves. So I'm going to copy this input. Okay, input. In fact, I should cut it. And then I'm going to create here to functions, and the bottom of the function here, I'm going to create a text input. Okay, so I'll just simply come and create a function. And this one I'm going to call it text underscore input. I can call it input like this. Okay, so this input for now, it should return just that complete text as it is here. Okay, because it's a string, let us surround it with with single quotes like this. So I'm going to call it this side. Okay, I'm going to call it this side here. So to call it, I'll just simply put here equal sign like this, and then call it, and then close here. So here I'm calling this input. Okay, this input. So if I come and refresh, you see, if I come and refresh, should be working. You see, it is working. So now this input, it will be receiving a name, because it will need it will need a name. So when you're passing parameters to this input, we should give it a name, because it's going to be dynamic, and it is going to be used by almost everything. So we need to be specifying its attributes. So the first attribute is going to be a name. So let's go ahead and do that. So to give it, we are going to be using arrays to pass the attributes. And this is how you can use arrays, by open square brackets like this, square bracket. So the first thing, we're going to give it a name. So name, and then it's going to be like this, name. So that's how we pass an array. So a name is a name. So let's go ahead and receive this data here, and say maybe it's called data. So the first thing that you'll have to check is what is a name. So let's go ahead and say name equals by the way, did you know that you can write an if sign, inline if sign, by just simply putting like this is set, and then you pass this, for example, and put here the name, and then you put here the question mark, and then after you pass the default value in case this one is true. So if it is true, it should give us the name. Otherwise, then you put here the colons. Otherwise, it should give us nothing. So it means that here we're checking in. If the name is set, we will be given the name. If the name is not set, we will be given nothing. So this name is going to be substituted here in this column somewhere where there's a name. So this ID, you can even remove it, or in fact you can even make the name as a what, as same as ID. So let's go ahead and substitute a name here. So substitute a name here, it's going to be again these dots separating, and then it's going to be name equals, then these double quotes, and then we're going to separate this string by adding like this. So this one's going to be, this is going to substitute this one here. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. Refresh, everything is okay, and then we can go ahead and put this one as a ID, as an ID, and there's also a placeholder as a placeholder. So by doing like this, we'll not repeat ourselves again and again and again to do same thing. If we come and refresh, so expect what we've sent to be here as a placeholder. You see, that is great. So after doing that, the next thing, in fact, we are supposed even to pass even the label. Let us pass the label, because also the label will need us to repeat ourselves. So let's go ahead and copy this label also and put it the other side. So I'll go ahead and cut it. It's boring, but it's the best part of it. Okay, so let's also add here a label. Here. So the label will be coming here. So let us go here and put the label text. So let us pass here another option called label. So label will be label. In case label does not come, it should be substituted with what? With name. Okay. So by doing like that, you will realize that we will not repeat ourselves, though it is boring, but we will not repeat ourselves. So the label is going to be the one that will be displaying the label text here. So to do it, you just put double quotes like this, single quote, and then put the dots, and then do like this. So this label will be substituted there. So that's a very powerful technique. It will not allow us to even repeat ourselves. So here the label is going to be 4, and here we're going to pass the what? The name, because the name is the ID of an input. So I'll come and rub here, put single quote, put dot, and then put here. So if I come and refresh, you see the label is there. So you can even the label is there, and when you click on the label, you go there. So if you want to specify the label, so maybe I can add another class, text capitalized or capitalized, text capitalized, capitalized. So see the label, if you don't specify it, it will give us even automatically. So if you want to specify the label, it means that you'll have to do what? To come here and pass another thing called label, and put maybe category name like this. So if you come and refresh, everything is okay. You see, a category name has been substituted. So after doing that, so the next thing that we have to do is the values. The values are very important, because we don't want to refill for the same form twice, and there is an error that has occurred. So what does it mean? It means that I'm going to use sessions to keep these values in one place. So in case there's a value that is in a session that is in a form session, then that value will be substituted in that field. So that would help us not to do it, to repeat ourselves. So let's go ahead and do that logic. So I'm just going to say value by default equals to nothing, and then I'm going to check if is set, and then I'm going to put here a session, and then I say form. Okay, form, and the next thing that I'll have to do, I'll check now the form name of that particular input. Okay, so if it's checked there, and then the second thing that I'll have to check if is set that form name of that particular input. So I'll just go ahead and pass here the name. So it means this name will come first. So the next thing, I'll check if it's set this particular field name. Okay, field name. So there is where I'll be keeping the values from. So I'll go ahead, if it's set, if those are set, I'll go ahead and replace them with this. Okay, like this. But sometimes you need a specific value. So if a specific value is coming, it means that we need to overwrite this one. So how shall we check if a specific value is coming? Of course, we'll check it in this data array. Okay, so I'll just simply come and put here maybe value. So we'll be passing it here value, and then put here value. Otherwise, it should be replaced by value itself. So that's great. So after, we'll have to put this value into the form. So to put this value into the form, we'll just simply come here and then this value into the form, and then after, we'll have to give value. You can put even after this guy, after this class, put value equals double quotes dot and just dot, those single quotes dot and then put the value. So it means that we can now even initialize using the value. So if I come and refresh, let us see if we don't have an error. Yes, we don't have an error. But if we pass the value, say the value is equal to Ramina, come and refresh, you see the value is there. So if the value is not there, it will not even crash and everything will be alright. Yeah, so that is great. What else? Now we can pass also maybe the error. Okay, the error. In case there is some error, you should be able to tell us. Maybe sometimes some forms come with with errors. So the error will be here on bottom here, like this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just come here and maybe create something what we call error text. Error. So let's first create another value called error. So this error will be specified here or here, and then so it means that we also need to create another error here, and these errors sometimes we'll set them through through the session. So we'll have to pass them also through the form session. So I'll have to put here the name, and maybe we can add another parameter. This one will be storing the value. So we'll have to add another parameter of value. Okay, value. So let's add another parameter of value. So I'll have to check if the value is set. Okay, so I'll have to add another parameter here, value, so that it should not mix up with with errors. Value. So I'll come and collect here from the value field this one. Okay, so let me remove this for now, and I'm going to work now on that of error. So we'll check if the form is set in session. If the form name is, this particular name is set in session, we check if the name value is set. Now for this one, it's going to be the error is set. Okay, so if the error is set, let's go ahead and create the what we call the error text. Okay, and that one will be attached to this form. So if it's not there, it will be just an empty thing. So let's go ahead and do that. So the error is going to be, maybe I can call it error text, error underscore text. Okay, error text by default is nothing, it is empty space. So error text is going to be equals to this error div that we just copied the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this one, give it a class of text and danger, so that it should be red, and then we pass the error now. Okay, pass the error here by putting dot then the error. So that will be our error text, and it will be set only when there's an error in session. So after doing that, we'll go ahead and pass and add it here and add it to this one. Okay, so I just simply can say dot the error text. So if there's an error text, it will be added automatically to that particular error. So after doing that, so we've set the errors on that. What else do we need to do? Maybe extra attributes. Sometimes you want to pass extra attributes to the to the form. So I can come and call it attributes here. Attributes. Okay, and then by default is nothing. So I'm going to go and add it here in the input. So I'll just simply come and say dot. No, let's put those attributes at last because they're optional. Come and give here dot, and then pass the hyphen and then pass the attributes. So in case there's someone who attaches extra attribute, they'll come here. So I hope you've done that now. This is a function for text input. It is boring, but it will save us a lot of our time, even in other projects. Okay, I invented it. So refresh here, everything is okay. Now let's go ahead and submit this form and we see what we can do with it. Okay, so I'm going to submit this form to admin categories add. So we'll just simply come here, press enter, so I copy the name, collapse, and then come and put action. The form does not have action, does not have the, do I have the form? Yes, the form is there, it starts from here. Okay, and we're having only a single input there. So let's give it action. Then after action, let us give it method and make it post. Okay, I think those are the things. So let's go ahead and submit. Can even remove this to make it much more simpler. So let's go ahead and submit. So before we submit, let us write the logic that will receive this form. So since we are submitting in the same file, as you can see, we are submitting to the same file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write here on top a logic that will be checking if it's something that is being submitted or not. So after protected area, I'll check if is post method. You can as well check if it's post method by just simply coming here and say check if is post method PHP. Okay, so I want us to see this, so I can check if there is something that is being posted. So I'll just come here immediately after protection. I check if it is post. Then I can say here print underscore what post, so I can get all the values in the post, and maybe I can die from here. Okay, die. Okay, so save, come and refresh. Everything is okay. Try to submit. See, there's nothing there. Try to submit, maybe kids. Submit. You see, kids have come. Now let us try to test and send back the error. Okay, let's try to send back the error by just simply saying return header location and then we specify the sign. So also one more thing that I would like you to know, that I'd like you to be doing, so is to update the form immediately when submitted. Whether it is successful or not, we should update it, so that we should be able to do what? The form in sessions, that we should be able to retrieve back our data. So if I come and refresh here, you see, I'll have to add, let me do like this. Okay, so now you see, even if I put here something, it is lost because it's not saved in the session. So as we said, if you want to save it in the session, then you have to look here. Let's see how we're saving values that are already set in the session. You save them here through forms. Okay, through form, then the value. Is it? It should be, how should it be? It should be through form, then the value, then the name, I think. Yeah, then the name. So this should come first. Form, value, then the name. So this one should come first here. Yeah, form, value, then the name. It should be grouped by value, I think. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so after doing that, now let's go ahead and refresh. Of course, we did not see anything, but now we need to set this value that have been submitted straight to the value field. So you just simply say session, and then you specify the section of what? Form, and then specify value equals whatever has been posted. Okay, so here you see I'm initializing into the data that has posted into this one. So if I refresh, and now you see I'm not being able to get what I did before. But if I refresh, come back now, something should be there. Refresh, let's see. Submit. Okay, it is not coming. Now let's see what could be causing the problem. Form, value. So let's see this side. Form, then value, then the name. Okay, so let's also see here. Form, value, then the name. Oh, this one should be not in quotes because it is a variable. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, let's go ahead and refresh. See, you see, name has come there. So if I say John Doe, submit, see, even though I've been redirected back, but I'm not losing the data that is my form. That is very powerful, very, very important to users. When they redirect the user, don't let them lose their data. So that is the reason why we've taken this time doing all this stuff. So the next thing is now the errors. So the error should also be error. The name should come after errors. Okay, error, and then here error, then name. Okay, likewise here, error, then the name. So here we check form, then say error. Okay, if form error is set, then we check if form error particular name is set. If it is set, then we'll go ahead and do it and display the error. Let's go ahead and see how this one can be done. It's supposed to be arrow like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this, the error part. Then how should we do it? So it should be just a group of errors. Okay, oh yeah, a group of errors. So just simply say error, and then I initialize it to an empty array, and then I push in that one of maybe, for example, name, and then I say name to long, something like this. So if I come and refresh, submit, you see the error has come. The error has really come. So, and we do this only in one piece single of file. So when you need an input, we will not need to repeat ourselves again doing all those things. You can use that even piece of code, this one, you can use it even in what, in your different projects, in your other projects. And writing code like that, it will save you from what, from suffering. Okay, so that's it. I think now what's remaining is now working with this logic and submitting it to what, to the server. Okay, so we have finished creating our an input. Now in the next video, we'll look at how now we can submit this input. And this input is very powerful, to the way that you just do like this, and then it does all the logic of checking the error, resuming content, and all that, which is really important. So make sure that you understand all what we've done. So let's meet in the next video. We're going to now look at submitting this data into the database.